Hello everybody, it's Coach Rob again. Welcome to another Coach's Log. As you can see, background hasn't changed a whole lot. I'm still wearing the same clothes. It's because when I shoot these, I shoot 2 to 3 of these at a time for the next week. And I'll take about 45 minutes, maybe an hour maximum to edit these ahead of the posting. And then they're scheduled usually like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I really enjoy this. It's a whole lot easier and faster to do than the podcast ever was or ever will be. Maybe that's just because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But in the last couple of episodes that I've recorded, it's been a little bit about the pandemic we're dealing with, how to make your Zwift setup a little bit more comfortable, and then also some Zwift tactics. This is actually the 4th video in this series. I'm not always going to do more than 3, but I thought I would share a few more ideas and thoughts. This next set of tactics is for anyone using Zwift, whether you're a runner or a cyclist. And I don't care what cycling discipline or running discipline that you're a part of, but I think one of the things that after comfort, in trying to make your training setup the most comfortable possible, I would also throw in there convenience. Have you made enough space for yourself to manage things like extra food and water? If you have a setup and you're finally thinking about knocking out your first metric century, which quite honestly is not that difficult to do inside of Zwift, you are looking at 3.5 hours at a 2 to 2.25 watts per kilogram pace is doable on a flat course. So really the tactics that I want to talk to you guys and gals about is fueling. I don't think people in Zwift land pay near enough attention to this. Mainly just cursory things that I've read in forums and in things like Reddit on Zwift, as well as some of the folks that I coach. There's really no difference. If you're riding indoors or you're versus riding outdoors, you still have a fluid concern and you have a supplement concern and a fueling concern. Now, the nice thing is that riding indoors, it makes it significantly easier to deal with. There's no team car bringing a hand up to you or anything like that. You're not running by a station, an aid station that's carefully trying to pass you a little cup of water to drink. No. You've got the room, you've got the space at home. Set it up appropriately so that you can have extra fuel, extra hydration, and any supplementation that you need to fuel your ride. I have found recently, one of the things I've done for years, I've set a timer on my Garmin, my bike computer, the one that I've chosen to use, to go off every 5 minutes to alert me. It's an audible alert and a visual alert that lets me know, hey, 5 minutes are up. And I use that alert for probably 2 or 3 things. One of them, first and foremost, is to reach down, grab a bottle, and take a drink. And we're talking about a sip, not a big, giant drag, but enough to go through 24 to 20 ounces in an hour. Now, that sports bottle may have all kinds of different things in it, depending on the kind of ride that I'm doing. I'm not going to get into the details of what you should be taking in based on the type of intensity. We'll definitely cover that later, but today this is a much broader view of what to do. So I'll set that alarm up to have my swig every 5 minutes or so. And I also keep up with that. It's like, wait a minute, I've had 3 swigs. I'm probably starting to think about something to eat. Now there's where the trend has changed. It used to be that I would only eat every 30 to 40 minutes. Now, if it's hot out, that may still be the case, depending on the kind of food I'm packing with me. If it's solid food, I might not have the stomach for it in 100-degree weather to be eating every 20 minutes. But when it's cooler, drier, or cold, I am going to want to eat about every 20 minutes. I'm not eating more calories, I'm just eating more often. So I've heard this referred to as the slow drip method. I think it's pretty accurate. Instead of eating half, a power bar, and that's a really bad example because I'm not eating power bars. Larabar is one that I do enjoy, and other things that we make at home is that I'll, instead of, half in 30 minutes and the other half the next 30 minutes, I break it up into thirds. And I've even recently started to unwrap the wrapper, so I'm not having to fight that inside of a Zwift race. Cut that up into thirds, put it in like a little container, and I can look at that and say, that is enough to get me through 3 hours. And just in case things go a little longer for whatever reason, maybe I bump into an athlete that I work with or someone that I ride with and in the real world, and they're wanting to do something on Zwift, I might be coerced into being on there a little bit longer. So I have a backup bar or maybe a banana or something like that. So remember, your fueling strategy should not be changing, whether it's indoors or outdoors. If you're working with a sports nutritionist, talk to them about what they think, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised to find out that they're not going to want you to change much. If you have questions about this or you need help on this sort of thing, but you're not quite ready to hire a coach yet, I do consult. So I'll have a link at the bottom of the page that you can learn more about that and any of the other articles and podcasts and other of the coaches' logs that you might be interested in. So with that being said, have a nice rest of your training week, and we'll talk again very soon.